You were condemned to death for me, and so would begin your trek to Calvary. Skinny streets densely crowded. So many people shouted, they screamed, because this was news. This was King of the Jews being led to his death, and as you bled under your breath, with not much left. Father, forgive them. Your mother Mary, seeing you carry that cross, voluntarily paying the cost that was too high for man. And that's what I try to understand. What do you see in us? What's in there to find? Why do you believe in us? Seems we're always at our worst. We undermine, we are cursed, we are blind. Jesus falls for the first time. I saw you collapse to your knees. I saw you get slapped. I saw you bleed. And then I heard them laugh. And they all agreed that this will end with this man's back against a tree, smack in the midst of two thieves. He'll collapse for all of the world to see. They'll see him fall. But I see you crawl, practically dying of thirst, maligned and worse than teased when you were trying to get back up to your knees, and to see your mother crying, and she's the one who's hurt. She sees her son in the dirt, and he's hurt, but obeying, not defying. You were praying on your way to dying, and I know your whole soul motivation for complying was my soul, in the soul of all of those whose salvation needed buying. And you were trying, but you were still lying, still on the ground, still half dying. And in between the shrills of a mother's crying, they bring this Simon of Cyrene, and Simon, he intervenes. And I thought, as he was brought to help with the cross, oh, how this so symbolizes the cost, how I am so unfit and how I am lost, but not alone, because we are so many women and men and ways we go wrong, just so many sins on so many days that only you could atone, that only you could erase. And with every step there was a trace of mud. It was all over the place, and blood was all you could taste. And so with love, Veronica wipes your face, and she was just trying to leave no trace of all that they spat. And it was such a small act, but you see it, you see all of that. And hers was a sweet pat. And then she turned and retreat back to where she was at. But then once again, they all begin to attack. That's when I could see it all in your limbs. You were trying to stand tall again, but then Jesus falls again. Your arms look weak. Legs were scarred from being beat, from being marred in the street, from taking the blows, the berating from those soldiers who demean. They cast lots for your clothes and things, and just for show they scream, look at the so-called chosen, so-called king with no clothes. You were exposed. But why did the soldiers have to be so cold, have to be so mean? It was so obscene. But yet, you chose not to say a thing, because you had souls to redeem. Oh, I heard the grumble in the street. I saw you stumble to your feet. Strangers, they mumbled, woman, don't you weep. You said, and that was so sweet. And though you bled, in you I saw no signs of defeat. And after all that time being beat, being hit, being punched, being whipped, and I assumed you were kicked, and I assumed those were wounds from a whip, and I assumed that the pain in your legs was just this grind, this raw kind that gnaws, the kind that climbs and winds, that falls fast down your spine. Jesus falls for the last time under the weight of the task that you were assigned. And by this time the chants grew loud, and I saw you glance up at the clouds, just blinking. And as they came in, I remember thinking, soon the rain's gonna begin, and because of the pain you were in, your body goes lame, and then it bends. And then the soldiers picked you back up, because it was time to drink from that cup. And through the blood in your chest, I could see the gashes, the cuts, they were so profound. And with your head hanging down towards the ground, right where you were at, they spun you around. And I could see the stripes on your back. Oh, it was a Friday night that, through man's eyes, time for a man to lay on a cross. Oh, but for the Lamb who dies, time to pay the cost. For all of those souls who would be lost, for all of those who make a choice to go astray. Oh, I can still hear that voice say, Nails ready, hold him steady. As I turned to walk away, I swore I heard that soldier say, nails ready, hold him steady, hold him steady.